What's up, guys? We have another episode of Kart Talk, and we're joined by a few new faces, some old faces, and some new old faces. First off, I want to give a huge shout out to Sammy D. He was one of the gentlemen who helped launch the channel. He's no one new to the community. You're very familiar with him, but it's always exciting to have him back. Sammy, thanks for being willing to jump back on with us, man. It's been a while.
Sure. Yeah. Good to see you all, and looking to get into some interesting chat as usual.
Awesome. And the other two faces that you might be familiar with is FrenzyFans. Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys.
Ooh.
Hey.
And we have a third appearance since I guess this is the second since the face reveal of Larry98. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
Yeah. Hi.
And on that side of the pond, we also have Puffton, aka Puffton 117 FY22. So thank you so much for joining, Puffy. It's been on my to-do list, on my bucket list to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to come here and hello to everyone on the internet.
And we promise we'll try to keep the cat questions to a minimum. I can't guarantee that we can't avoid them. There's going to be there. In fact, Larry's pointing out his
oh, Larry, why?
cat peach.
Oh, well.
Right there. Oh, you got one too? Nice.
Carlos.
I haven't even made it 1 minute into the show.
Great.
There she is.
Yeah, I don't think we want to endorse any drinking games, but cat peach might be an interesting one to do. All right, and then we have the brand new face, MKD, Holy Viking, the one person dressed up as a Viking. You probably could tell who he is. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate your flexibility jumping on at the last minute. We got a lot to cover because as we're looking at this upcoming tour, this is recorded on Friday, the day of the tour reveal for the Sky Tour. And so we have a lot to talk about there. There's also still a lot going on in this tour. You know, this tour isn't done. We still got another 7 or 8 days, but we know everything that we need to for this tour. I mean, basically, there's no information that will come out between now and Wednesday. So there's still some stuff like, do I decide on this pipe? What's going on here, etc. So there's some meta level strategy to talk about there. And then finally, I think this is probably where we'll start out. We'll talk about MK8, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The news came out, I believe, late last week, and still a lot to pull apart from that. Sammy's done his own research. Larry98's his own in-house expert on Mario Kart 8. So excited to kind of let them duel it out. But before we get to that, we have an icebreaker. So I'll have everyone just mention their name, where they're calling from, anything else that they want to be able to mention that what they love about the game. And then the icebreaker comes from KnightRoso. He asked, if you were to go on a date with any high-end driver in Mario Kart Tour, who would it be and where would you go? And most importantly, what cart would you drive to go pick them up in? You know, you're a gentleman or a gentle lady, and you got to pick them up. So you got any Mario Kart Tour cart to take with you. So we'll go ahead and we'll start the other way around. So we'll start with you, MKD Viking. Tell us, who would you take out on a date, and where would you go, and what cart would you pick them up in?
All right, so I'm calling from Michigan, and I would personally, I'm a sucker for brunettes, so I'd have to go with Pauline and just classic version. And I definitely pick her up in the Grand Bad Wagon because of the purple.
Great answer. Where would you go? You'd go to Detroit?
Sure. We'll figure that out later.
All right. Hey, that's good for me.
It's like wherever you want to go.
I wants to go to New York. She seems to like New York. All right, Puffton, what would you answer for the question? Date on a high-end driver in Mario Kart Tour.
Oh, geez. Probably the only one. I don't have a thing for any of the characters whatsoever.
What a shame.
This is a weird one. So I would say the only one that I have a real kind of connection with is bus driver Waluigi. And
wow,
that's because of the tartan. And I'm like, yes. So I would probably have him, and we would go on a mate date on the double decker, and we'd have a full out party just roaming around Glasgow.
Wow.
Like, yes,
I
it's like
like it.
absolute
No,
disco
That's
lights.
good.
I like that a lot. Explain what a tartan is and your history with the garb.
Right. So tartan is one of the kind of national patterns within Scotland, and we have it on the kilt, which is the national dress wear. And most people mix it up because it looks like a skirt, but it's not a skirt because it's flat at the front, but it has 16 pleats at the back. So it's got like really, really historical relevance to the country. And it's been through history. William Wallace had it through all the wars and the battles. And it's just been such a cultural like specialty within this country, basically. And we have it for weddings, all different events. And it's awesome. Both men and women can wear it. You'll most likely see it on bagpipers. So yeah.
That's awesome. And
I
you
love it.
are from, I don't know if you mentioned this, you're from Scotland, right?
Yes, I am from Scotland, yes.
And I think some of the history between you and Waluigi Bus Driver is that he was London, and so there was a little bit
Yes.
of hey, come on, Nintendo, get your history right?
Yeah, so it was very weird having the London tour and then having a tartan driver because the significance of tartan is Scotland rather than England, whereas the double decker would be England. So you've kind of got a mix of both. But the relevance to the tartan, or however I would call him, is Scottish Waluigi. He will always be my Scottish Waluigi.
Well, you can have him. I don't think a lot of us really appreciate his value as much as you do. So that's good there. And I know, I think you would have liked the Scotland tour. That seems like really cool. It would have been awesome to go on some of the glorious, golf courses that you guys have out there. But I guess we kind of have a little, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but we got a little gripe to go with Nintendo on and using these golf guys here this tour. Yes. So we'll get to that in a second. But FrenzyFans, guy and girl, you probably have different answers, maybe the same answer, I don't know. But what would be your answer for taking on a date in the Mario Kart universe?
So I would probably pick up swimmer Rosalina.
Because the blondes, right?
So if you've seen any of our episodes, like we have a background image, and then we have like mirror screen, and then we have our faces that are on there, but around the sides of the screen,
it's the safe answer.
There's the Frenzy fangirl here. She put my face on Bowser Santa, and then she put her face on Rosalina swimwear. So yeah, it's the safe answer.
That's a really safe answer. I'm glad you went with that one.
But I think I would pick her up in the combo cruiser, because that way we would actually like go out to our restaurant. We could just like eat part of the cart.
That's very frugal.
On our way. Right? And some fries. And I think we would probably go to Rainbow Road, like one of the 3DS Rainbow Roads, where we could like drive around on the moon and go in and out of the spaceships and stuff like that. So
cool answer.
But so I do have a prediction for what Sammy's going, like who he would pick up. So before you give your prediction, I want to throw out a guess, but we'll go through Frenzy Fangirl and Larry first.
All right.
So I'm kind of like Puffton. I don't really have a thing for any of the characters, but I would probably go for Gold Koopa free running, because he just looks fun. Like, yeah. He's like one of the coin box drivers, but he's not that cocky. He just kind of like hangs with everybody. And I'd probably pick him up in the dark buggy, and we would go climb some mountains and like watch the sunset or something like that. Do some hiking.
Wow. Frenzy fanboy's getting jealous.
Watch out.
Wilds.
Yeah, if we could like drive on top of one of the monuments or something like that, that'd be cool.
That is
fair enough.
Cool. All right, hey, well there you go. Goku pruning. The heartthrob. I get it. I see it. I completely understand where you're coming from there.
Doesn't he just look fun though? Like you'd enjoy hanging out with him.
He's cool.
Oh, he's super chill. Like he probably has no fear, no shame in his game. He is just chilling.
He's got confidence. He doesn't have a whole lot of overlap. He's got a good like 9 or 10 like unique courses. So he's like, yeah,
he's got the gold cap.
The gold cap.
Like,
yeah.
You can't go wrong with him.
Anything with, I mean, everything looks better with the gold cap on.
It's so true.
Okay. All right, Larry 98. I don't know. Maybe I guess you could take Larry in the game on a date if you wanted to.
No, but the thing was, yeah, first I'm from Germany. The thing was, when I first read the question, I was like, yeah, that's easy, Larry, of course. But then it says with any high-end driver in the game. So, but there is, besides all my Larry alts I created, which are high ends, there is no Larry high end right now. Yeah. So, but I would have chosen Larry. Yeah. But I would choose Funky Kong because I really like Funky Kong. He was in Mario Kart V, like for a lot of people, like the favorite driver. And since he's a Donkey Kong character, I would go with Funky Kong in Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. There is the African world. I think it was world 3 or 4, and the soundtrack and everything would be nice there. And I would pick the off-roader because that was his card in Mario Kart. Yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. All right, FrenzyFans guys, circle back. What's your prediction on the Sammy D date?
So I'm going to be completely surprised and floored if he doesn't pick Peach Happy.
Well, this actually came up in my Ask Sammy video last time. I was like grinding while trying to answer questions. There's way too much going on, and I don't know. The thing is, I have like multiple Mario Kart Tour crushes. I'm the opposite of Puffton, so it's actually hard to choose. But yeah, in that video, I think I said Fire Rosalina because I think she's like very classy. She like impresses me. But yeah, I mean, FrenzyFans was right. Peach Happy, Taiko Girl, she's like my main. She's my bae.
So I remember when
I feel like she's like my soulmate. She's more my soulmate. Fire Rosalina is more like my, my girlfriend.
Your muse. She's your muse.
Side chick.
She's my muse. Yeah, but I would say, like we could I mean, she obviously lives in Tokyo, so maybe the sports coupe would be a nice ride for us to get out into the countryside and explore the Japanese countryside together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I'm surprised you wouldn't go to some like Blue Man Group or like drumming thing, because she's got like the drum things.
The taiko drums. Yeah, we're both drummers. We don't need to discuss it. We both we don't to talk about our work. We just want to experience life together.
Totally.
Fair enough.
All right, Studfit, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Yeah. Well, like Holy Viking, I'm more of a brunette guy myself. But so I had to go with Pauline, but I think I'm gonna go Party Time because she seems like she's ready to party, which I can appreciate there. But I think
Ulysses calls her Tipsy Pauline.
Tipsy Pauline.
Yeah.
But I think she's not holding back. Like she is ready to party. The one thing is she's got this weird part. I never got that. It was just such a weird like high part. It just looked like, I don't know. Not a big fan of like the middle part. I don't know why.
Her render does look different. Like her eyes look way different in the Party Time render than in all other Pauline renders. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that. This is like deep level analysis, but.
All right, well, I will claim flexibility to change my answer if her eyes look weird. I thought she looked very
good.
Very impressive. Okay. I would probably take her along LA Laps 1, just the beach. And I'd probably take her in the P-Wing.
Not 2 though. No power plant.
Not 2. No. Not 2. I don't want an oil drill going through our car. No. But no, probably
she'd just get out of the car and run. She'd be like, "Where are you taking me?"
She thinks she's getting abducted. Yeah, no. I just a cool, calm like beach ride with the with the roof down and the P-Wing, just relaxing. Probably the pink wing actually. I'm kind of pivoting there just because that pink wing looks so cool. I'm a big fan of pink. I like pink. Pink's cool.
That looks good.
All right.
What can we say?
I don't know, man. I really like pink. I don't know why. All right, so we'll get to probably the hottest topic right now, which is really in like the Mario Kart world. This Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'll be honest, I didn't know very much about Mario Kart, dating back to the late 90s, early 2000s. And then there was this large gap where I didn't play a lot of the game. I wasn't familiar with like the Wii tracks. I wasn't familiar with any of this. And now we have Mario Kart 8, which I didn't know much about. So I'm kind of coming in late. But I will say I watched a couple of these videos today. This is big news. This hit the Mario Kart community at large in a major way. And so I know, Sammy, you've done a great job of doing some research, and you did a phenomenal video. I watched your video and watched everything, two or three of these Mario Kart community outside of Mario Kart Tour, and hearing their analysis of it. And honestly, a lot of them are pretty riled up, pretty. I would say the majority of them are very upset. I know Larry 98, you have a pretty big history. Since we know Sammy kind of where he stands, we'll start with you, Larry 98, and then we'll let Sammy rebuttal, and then all of us will join in, kind of talking about the reaction to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this question specifically, we'll start with you, Larry 98. But Puffton asked you, Puffton, do you want to ask it or do you want me to read it?
Oh, 1 minute, let me find it. Oh, there it is. Now, I will preface this. I have only ever played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe once, and that's because a pupil brought a Switch in on one of the last days before Christmas, and I just played it.
What did you think about
Mario.
What did you think about it?
It's actually quite cool. I love the rendering that they've got and all the kind of shaders and everything. And the tracks are really nice because I used to play like Mario Kart Wii a lot with my family when I was younger. So just kind of seeing the updated graphics is really nice. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Mario, so I've never really gone into the Mario Kart stuff. But it looks really cool. I did laugh out loud and give Nintendo a round of applause when the DLC came out. Because I thought, yes, no MK9, yes. So I did find that quite funny. But yeah, so question. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the voice chat, how do you feel about the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC and the tracks included? Do you think they should have made Mario Kart 9 instead?
We'll start with you, Larry. What do you think, man?
So yeah, I was really hyped, but slowly I think I have mixed feelings on it. Cause they 48 tracks is a lot, and the price is also very nice, but they took the tracks for Mario Kart Tour, and I was playing last weekend. I was playing again Mario Kart 7, but not on the 3DS. I played it on the computer, so you can make the graphics. You can make it so that the game runs in 4K instead of the 360p of the 3DS. And honestly, Mario Kart 7 looks then better sometimes than Mario Kart Tour even. So cause like things like the sand texture is in on 3DS Toad Circuit is in Mario Kart Tour just one color, and in Mario Kart 7 it was a texture, yeah. But still, I'm still hyped, and I will of course also get the DLC, and I will also play it a lot. And I think it's good that they didn't do Mario Kart 9 yet, because when they release the Switch 2, then we should get Mario Kart 9 instead. Because like on the Wii U we had to wait 2 years until the Mario Kart, and on the Switch we directly got it at launch because it was just a port for Mario Kart 8, yeah. And yeah, I would say then that's better. And also I watched some videos about it, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is already mostly at the limit what the Switch can do. So with the new Switch and the new Mario Kart, then the graphics would be a lot better, and they would really show like what the new Switch can do. Yeah.
All right, the defendant, Sammy D. Why don't you jump in and fill in any gaps that Larry had? Just initial reaction. What do you think?
Yeah.
Other questions.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to sum a lot of it up in the video I did, just because like there's so much to this so many implications for both games and for the whole franchise. I mean, there's all kinds of little angles like, does this make Mario Kart Tour, Mario Kart 9, which is something everyone's been arguing about forever, is an official mainline game. Still used to have Larry and Puffy not calling it Mario Kart 9. So this will go on and on, this debate. The graphics from Mario Kart Tour, the fact that all the tracks in the first wave are Mario Kart Tour ported tracks. So even the tracks that we haven't had in Mario Kart Tour, Coconut Mall and Shroom Ridge, 2 fan requested tracks, they're shown in the Mario Kart Tour style. So tracks from the waves of the DLC are going to telegraph stuff that probably will be coming to Mario Kart Tour. So now we have more confirmation of things we're going to get in our game. And then just the implications for the overall franchise and the timeline of it all. I mean, the waves are going to come out till the end of 2023. So we've all been asking, how long is Mario Kart Tour going to go? How long is the Switch going to go? They said like last year that the Switch is about halfway through its timeline, but Nintendo's also said that they will not release another console until they have something amazing to do with that's different, that changes the game. Because Nintendo with every console tries to change the game a lot of times with the hardware, motion controls, Joy-Cons, whatever. So like they're obviously working on the next big Mario Kart game. It seems very obvious now when you look at the big picture of like, okay, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling Switch game. It's probably going to become the best-selling game of all time in the next year, which is crazy. I mean, this is the biggest franchise in video game history. And so, okay, people are still playing it. Mario Kart Tour is doing decent over here. They're playing that. What do we do until next Mario Kart game? Oh, let's just come up with 48 tracks from Mario Kart Tour, give them to everyone on Mario Kart 8 slowly. Bam. I mean, it's so obvious now that you can kind of see it. So the problem with the response on YouTube with all these people who don't play Mario Kart Tour, all the haters, I call them, like the content creators who never covered the game, who make fun of our game and our community. I mean, I've gotten a lot of crazy comments over the past week. I have way more views. I have a bunch of subs coming in. And I have a bunch of comments that are not representative of the character and quality of the Mario Kart Tour community. I have all these comments coming in that were the kind of YouTube comments I was always afraid of getting. They're just like people being just complaining, and they're upset about the graphics. They're upset about, why are you guys playing this gotcha game, etc. But mainly, I think everyone's kind of like realizing, we're not getting another Mario Kart game on a console for another couple of years minimum, and they don't love that, but they get to play the tour tracks, so there's perks for them. I mean, and I just wish it was all one big Mario Kart community. I don't know why people had to turn on Mario Kart Tour so much, but I guess with the microtransactions, it was an inevitable part of the whole conversation. But those are some of my thoughts. I mean, I just think it's exciting. It might also signal the end of the timeline for Mario Kart Tour. I mean, if they are doing this over this year and next calendar year, and let's just say they have something planned after that for Mario Kart, we could be looking at a couple more years of Mario Kart Tour before it, goes on to whatever the next big thing is. So anyway, curious to hear if anyone else has thoughts, but I've said a lot about it already.
Yeah, guys, you guys want to jump in? I have some opinions too. I have no problem jumping into, but figured I've already talked a lot, so I'd love to hear some from you too. All right. Well, then my opinion is, no, I mean, I think you bring up a good point, Sammy, in that the communities like that they don't want to count this as a Mario Kart game, and I think if there was like a smaller gap between Mario Kart 8 and Mario 9, then they could just kind of pretend that this never happened, and they could go about thinking that way. But I think by having Deluxe, it brings more attention to Mario Kart Tour. I don't know if it'll bring enough like new players. It may. I think that any new player would probably maybe gravitate to, I'm just gonna wait for this Deluxe and just get it, for the $25. I will say, in my mind, every game that I have played. Again, I was never a video game guy until 2 years ago, but I think from my perspective, I would play the game for maybe 2 weeks, like Pokemon as an example. My sons and I have been playing that, and we beat the game, and we played pretty intensely for like 2 or 3 weeks, and now we play sparingly. It's maybe one night a week we'll try to catch some shiny or something. Where as like Mario Kart Tour, it's like every week. I almost wish that like all my favorite games came back in this style of like, where you're playing something every week, something changes, every 2 weeks you have a brand new tour. Like I would love that for Smash Brothers, or for any of the games that I played growing up. So in my mind, like this is as good as it gets. This is like what gaming is in 2020 plus. So I think that for people to say, hey, why is this, why is Mario Kart Tour here? Why can't we just get rid of it? Why can't we just pretend it's not there? I think those people are missing out. I think this is a great style game. I'm trying to think back, like, was there, and maybe Larry, you can tell me if a better answer to this, but I'm like, did the graphics get like that much better between 7 and 8, or Wii to like, what is, it's a racing game, so like other than like getting new tracks, or maybe getting a new style of play, maybe going out of water or whatever, like is there really a big difference between 6 and 7 or 7 and 8? Like to me, they're all kind of like very similar. You could probably pick up Mario Kart on 64 and have just as much fun as if you were to pick up Mario Kart 8. Maybe the graphics are a little different, maybe some of the controls a little bit different, but ultimately like it's the same game. This is a very, in my opinion, a very different approach to it. And I think from that perspective, it's actually a different game. And I don't know if I would have liked the other game, because I'm not like someone who really likes racing games. I really like the addiction to the frenzies, and like the combos, and like the skill it takes to try to keep combo. To me, like
the inventories. Just your inventory
investment. Yeah, 100%.
Because Mario Kart 8, like you're right, the replay value, it's always there if you want to play with friends and if you want to play with yourself, but you can't keep going for a better score. This game forces you to play with every different driver, whereas every Mario Kart game in the past, you have your favorite driver, you race with them all the time, and then it's kind of like, what else do you do? This is the future, in that Nintendo is doing more and more DLC. They're doing more and more extensions, where even this Disney Pixar racer they announced in the same direct, they said it will come out. It's a new Switch game that will have seasons. So I think that's foreshadowing whatever the next Mario Kart. There's never going to be one static finished game anymore. It's going to have to go to that constantly evolving model with content coming out and out and out. Larry, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean that would be awesome when it would be like more and more updates, and I think that's what a lot of people who like the modding scene, they are like that people release more new tracks, like every few days there are new tracks for Mario Kart V, and that's why people would still play Mario Kart V, and being active in the modding scene. And the thing is that they usually change, the graphics are better, and with every Mario Kart they add new features. In Mario Kart V we had the bikes and motion controls, and in Mario Kart 7 we had driving underwater, gliding, and customize the cars. And in Mario Kart 8 we had anti-gravity, and and then also things like in Mario Kart 8 they changed the songs, they made them recorded by an orchestra, so it sounds better. And starting with Mario Kart 8 they changed more the tracks, so the old tracks, so they look more different. Like when you compare Cheese Land from Mario Kart Super Circuit to Mario Kart 8, you can really see that it feels like a new track, or Ribbon Land, or how it's called.
And that's what those players are disappointed about, because if you look at Donut Plains and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it looks insanely realistic. The mud and the water and the grass and the dirt, and you compare it to Mario Kart Tour Donut Plains, like they're gonna pour it in like Vanilla Lake SNES is gonna look completely different. And that's what everyone's realized after a couple of days. Oh, they're just going to bring in the Mario Kart Tour tracks, and they will look better. They're going to polish them up. You can already tell the Sky Garden looks a little different, but that's what they're bummed about. But look, it's it's that or nothing. You got to just like roll with what Nintendo's doing. You can play it or not. It's just a video game and it's content. So enjoy it, you know, and you get to play Ninja Hideaway now whenever you want instead of every 5 months, stuff like that, you know?
So question for you, coming from someone who like, I've played Mario Kart 8, but it's not like my bread and butter, right? Like I love Mario Kart Tour. I'm addicted to it. So that being said, have they announced or have they kind of like foreshadowed what's going to happen in a chronological order? Meaning I'm almost curious if they're trying to bring more of the Mario Kart 8 Switch people over to the tour by possibly like releasing some tracks early on Mario Kart Tour and then like kind of trying to get people to come over and play them a little bit quicker just to increase revenue and that type of stuff. Is that a potential or?
Yeah, I mean, it already is, because what I keep saying is Mario Kart Tour has the reverse thing going on, like the trick and reverse. We've always wanted to play in reverse on tracks, and no matter what happens on the Switch, they're not going to be our versions of Ninja Hideaway or trick versions of it. So that's always going to be here in Mario Kart Tour. And then you have all the city variants. It's the big question right now. It's unclear what they're doing with the city tracks, because Tokyo and Paris are on the first one, but it shows different routes in the trailer. You know, we have 4 versions of Tokyo, so it shows different routes. So everyone's trying to figure out, okay, is Switch going to get its own unique Tokyo blur that's like a combination? So actually Switch might have exclusive versions of the city tracks possibly that we don't have. Well, I say we, Mario Kart Tour. But then the other way around, I mean, Coconut Mall is going to be playable in like 4 weeks on Switch. So is Shroom Ridge. And unless after Sky Tour, we go right into a Coconut, I mean, they might drop Coconut Mall for Tour right after this, or they might make Mario Kart Tour players wait a little bit. I don't know. They could definitely point people both directions, you know? So yeah.
Viking or Puffton, you want to add anything to that part of it? If
well,
not,
I don't personally play Mario Kart 8, but I've seen some videos, and I think that, I mean, like, I watched Abdallah's video on it recently, and he even said that he might come back to Mario Kart Tour, and he was a huge pessimist of it. He hated a lot of things about it, but he still played it for a while. Yeah. And he said he was coming back, and I think that Mario Kart Tour is personally Mario Kart 9, and I think that they're going to keep it going past 2023. Even into what they introduced next. Like if there is a Mario Kart 9 next, I think they'll keep Tour going and then port from there. And just because it's a phone game, it's kind of different.
Yeah, with that being said, you know, I think at first, if they do it like how you mentioned, Sammy, where they don't give us Coconut Mall right away, I think we'd rush to be like, I want to see Coconut Mall now, because like, you know, we want to do it. So we might just go ahead and get that pack. And then like a month later, he comes to Tour. But I think where Mario Kart Tour, this is my opinion, I'd love to hear what you guys think, but we may not see any, you know, new members, new players come in until after maybe Deluxe is out for 2 or 3 weeks. People say, you know what? All these tracks came from this Mario Kart Tour. Maybe I should give this another chance, or maybe I want to know what's going on before it comes out, you know, as additional waves or something like that. So I could see like, you know, new players coming in, you know, a month after Deluxe is released, because that's when people are like, you know what, if the future is here, I want to know what's going on here before I get it over here.
I've already had a couple people like in my premiere chat today that I'd never seen before, and they're like, I just got into the game again, thanks, or I just got to try it for the first time. And what Mario Kart Tour really has, this is the big thing, is drivers. Like a lot of the, you know, YouTubers out there are like, I hope we get drivers with this. There's not going to be drivers with it. It's the booster course pack. It's a pack of courses, 48 courses. That's what they said. Now, in 2 years or in a year from now, might they do a booster driver pass that has Kamek and Charging Chuck and Monty Mullen, Hammer Bro, and all these people? Yes, but they're going to make sure that we have that first. If they dumped all the drivers into Deluxe, it would kill Mario Kart Tour, because that's the main thing that this game has, and that will remain that way, I think.
Yeah, I almost think, I know a lot of people have talked about like Mario Kart Tour ending at some point in time. just the like, I don't see it happening, and I could be totally naive, but this is why. If you look at like any of the big media companies, if you look at YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Discord or whatever, the entire objective of the company is how do I keep the user base on the platform as long as possible? Like that's how they monetize, right? And so if all of a sudden, like there's a luxury for Nintendo and for us as a player base with Mario Kart Tour being a mobile game that you're just never going to be able to get with even the Switch. Like, sure, the Switch is portable per se, but we joke about like Studfit and Jeeves and their crapper tin poles, right? Like you don't do that with a, like there's so much power in a mobile game that I don't see it going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's enough of a different game. Like Mario Kart Tour isn't like any of the other Mario Karts. Like
Nope.
there is there's an element of strategy that's in Mario Kart Tour that just doesn't exist in any of the other ones.
Absolutely.
So we got started on Mario Kart Tour at the beginning of the pandemic solely because we tried to get a Switch but couldn't because they were all sold out. And once we finally did get a Switch and started playing Mario Kart, we had already played Mario Kart Tour for several months, and just racing to get first place in the console game is very different than the mechanics of Mario Kart Tour. With Mario Kart Tour, it's not just more drivers, it's these drivers have special skills, and those skills are equated to points. And the points mechanic of, you know, your levels and your base points, it's completely different. It's almost like a way to teach people about like investing and you know, making decisions that will hopefully help you in the future. And I don't know, just the whole thing. Mario Kart Tour has so much more, I guess, longevity built into it, more so than any Mario Kart game. So I was watching Kevin Garrett's episode, his Candid Kevin episode, and one of the questions was talking about this with, you know, just the normal console games versus Mario Kart Tour. And he's like, you know, I've been playing Mario Kart Tour way longer than I would have ever played a console game. Every now and again, I'll go back to a console game, but sheerly just for the nostalgic purpose. Like, I just want to play it. The thing is, with the console game, the levels of challenges are few, and then it grows stagnant. Whereas with Mario Kart Tour, your first thing is you want to get like all 5 stars on all the courses. And when you first start out, that's a challenge, right?
Yep.
And after you get that, then you're really trying to strive for 100% coverage on all the tracks so that you can have, you know,
or a nonstop combo.
Yeah.
Or nonstop combo, right? And then once you get to that, then you do your, you know, total points challenge where you're trying to get to 600,000 or the 900,000 points. And then after that, you start kind of dabbling in ACR. But ACR, you've got 1,000, which is hard to get into your first time, and you kind of get used to that. And then it's ACR 100. I guess the thing I'm trying to say is it's even though they're the same name and they have like the same basic elements, they're completely different games. So I think it was like a month or two ago, I ended up watching this video on a guy that has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers to his normal console Mario Kart game. And he tried Mario Kart Tour. And you watch him play like these brand new courses, but with like a Toad on a middle shelf with, you know, like 500 base points. Like he just picked it up.
Yeah.
And he was obviously way more into the console aspect of it. But watching him play Mario Kart Tour, it was almost painful. And he was judging, he was making conclusions based on like the absolute square one, like baseline of Mario Kart Tour, where it's tough to actually like kind of grasp like the notion of what Mario Kart Tour is. And it really sucked watching the video because everything that he was saying was absolutely wrong. But he has, no joke, like 20,000 views on this video.
It's so cringe inducing, dude. I know. And it's they're not willing to cross the learning curve. You know, every game has a learning curve. And this game, I remember the first few days, it was so hard, the controls. And I was like, this sucks. The controls are awful. And then you just cross the curve and you're off to the races. And you're like, oh, I get it. And every Mario Kart game had that. I remember Mario Kart Wii with the Wii wheel. Larry and Puff, Noah, everyone's played it. And that's a whole other mechanic. And I had a lot of Mario Kart friends from childhood who tried the Wii wheel on Mario Kart Wii for a day. And they're like, I hate this. And they never played it again. And then they're left in the dust, you know, and it's just a shame. It's like, why not take on the challenge, you know? But yeah, this game changed it forever.
Do you think that the learning curve, it being as difficult as it is the reason why that people have been fighting this as Mario Kart 9, or like, is that why
it's the microtransactions that like really pissed people off? And you know, I understand. I mean, there's different degrees. I've always said the goal pass for 1 year is $60. That's the price of one Switch game. So that's, I mean, you're playing for so many more hours than you would a Switch game. Like you said, play it for you know, I looked at my Mario Odyssey on my Switch. Okay, I played it for 60 hours. I did everything there is to do pretty much. You know, you can go back to them, but this game, I mean, how many hundreds or thousands of hours have we logged, you know?
Well, and you think about like the development of it, like they're constantly developing new tracks and like the new characters. Like this is an evolving game, and that does take probably, you know, production time. That does take, you know, time to put together. So, you know, that does come at a price, and I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, it has to be that way. You know, but we also don't have ads. There are some other things that we have in the game that makes that nice. I would say, kind of to everyone's point, I feel like Mario Kart Tour is more like Dance Dance Revolution than it is Mario Kart. And like, you have to like, it's about combos. It's about like doing like repetition. Like it is like that mindset than it is, I feel like, a traditional racing game. And for that reason, I feel like this is unique enough. I don't know if there's a better analogy of like the skills required to play this game, or like the interest. I think, you know, in some games that are the most fun today, I think back on my time at playing, you know, Pokemon Go, and now playing Pokemon Arceus, is that it's the RNG. It's like, I don't know if the next gonna turn around the corner, there's a shiny. I don't know if I'm gonna get a triple, you know, coin box frenzy. I don't know. Like there's like that aspect of it that's really, really exciting. It's addictive. You know, and I think, you know, we can overlook, you know, some of the gotcha aspect of it, because there is that addiction to the game. I don't know if that's the same motivation you guys have, but and I guess what maybe I'll ask Holy Viking, what you know, what part of this game, you know, keeps you coming back, and what part of it, you know, is it this RNG part, or, you know, what skills would makes it a different game than regular Mario Kart?
Well, for me, I keep playing because I just love all the different drivers and the possibility of like what you get out of the pipe. I love pulling the pipe. I'm kind of like a baby whale, so I do pull the pipe a lot. And I mean, the combos, it's interesting that you compared it to Dance Dance Revolution, because I mean, with the combos, it is very similar and not like a racing game, but it is still a racing game. And I mean, some people that you watch on YouTube that play Mario Kart, they do go for like combos. They're not going for points, obviously, but they're trying to get ultra combos. And not everybody that plays Mario Kart Tour is going for rank. They're doing like time trials, or they're multiplayer, so they're trying to do as fast as they can.
Yep.
There's just so many different aspects to Mario Kart Tour that differentiates it from other Mario Kart games. The only thing that we don't have is battle mode.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get battle mode? I know that we expected to come last year, but I'm now starting to wonder if it'll come at all. What do you guys think?
I want to hear from Puffy about it, and also just like, where do they go from here? Because I just don't know. I mean, I have some ideas. I have one idea in particular about what they could do. I'm not going to give it away on air still, but there are things they can do. But the frenzies, the combo, the constantly improving your own scores, the constant content, you know, it just changes the game. And if they added battle mode, it would bring a lot of those nostalgic players back in, I think. Because that's another one of the things that like the haters said at first, like, this doesn't have multiplayer when it launched. This sucks. Or this doesn't have battle mode. Give me a break, you know. That could be huge. We need a new game mode. But I want to hear what Puffy thinks.
Oh dear.
Where do you go
Honestly,
from here, you know?
I know. See,
On a
that's the hard
console, on a
part.
console. Because now that they got 40, they're gonna have 96 tracks.
Yeah,
So what are the
I know.
what are they even gonna do on the next console? They've put all the famous retro tracks into Deluxe. Are they just gonna make them all again? I mean,
See, that's where it makes me think that what they've done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is they've made it Smash Bros. Ultimate, but they've went everything's now here.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how, like, will they even make a new one in the future since they've basically
Right.
thrown everything into Deluxe. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
put my hands up. I will 100% always believe that Mario Kart Tour is a spin-off than Mario Kart 9. And that's only because I've always had the logic that when I've played mobile games like Pokemon Masters, that's a spin-off
sure.
to the actual Pokemon series.
Yeah.
So that's where I get that logic from.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where mine comes in with Mario Kart Tour, because it's a mobile and it's got the microtransactions. I just think it's a spin-off rather than a main line game. But I can see where people are getting the logic that, oh, it's still a main game because it was in these are the past games that you've seen. So I do get the logic between them both.
Yeah.
But there's part of me that honestly thinks Mario Kart Tour is like a bridge that we're crossing over to get to the next game, as if they're testing things out in a kind of smaller scale. But like, okay, this works and that works, and they'll start nitpicking each part that then will bring it over to the console game, because that would be really cool to see combos and going for scores and all these different things on those mini challenges. I'd love to see, like, where you have your mini challenges within each cup, have on the maybe Mario Kart 9 a little kind of selection of mini games, and being able to do a glider challenge within Mario Kart 9 on console, or doing your little mini time trials, but it's selected courses already rather than you choose that one, and you have that leaderboard of your time trials, but it's maybe one every week or one every month or one every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And what that's doing is that's still continuously updating, and they're still just kind of keep going. Even it's like cycles. What you're doing is you're still cycling through it, but people can then aim for their better score, aim for a better time, and then having your battle mode in it, and just kind of finding ways through a console that will still kind of like wee mini updates each time. And I really do enjoy that what you said, Sammy, about the Disney Pixar having seasons. That would be really cool if Mario Kart had seasons as well.
We should watch how that works, because that's going to be an interesting, clue. The crazy thing is they're actually sitting in the headquarters working on this game right now, like, and we don't even know, They definitely are. They're not sitting there with no plan for Mario Kart.
Oh, they know easily. Because what I keep really wanting to tell people all the time is when they get so upset about a new tour coming out, or like, oh, we want this in this tour, but they never got it. It's this company has a plan months in advance. They have got every single meticulous part of each tour planned out to the max. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think Charge and Chuck and Singapore are two clues to me, because Charge and Chuck he wasn't even in my top 25, and I know that was my personal thing, but he's not even one of the first 20 people you think of. He's at like the bottom of the character madness bracket somewhere. But So that just makes you think, okay, like they're gonna be bringing people who are more popular than Charge and Chug. And then Singapore, you saw the entire city map from overhead. The data miners or other people posted. There's 4 or 5 routes in Singapore, and at this rate, they're only doing 1 or okay, let's say 2, let's say 3 tops Singapores per year. That's still like 2 more years of Singapore. I mean, alone, it seems like they're really stretching it out. We might be playing this game every day for another many years.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, except you, Puffton. You don't really play.
I
play sometimes.
play like for like 2 minutes when I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I'll go,
Yeah.
okay, done. Thanks very much. That'll be about it. And if I have time during work, I'll do a quick little like 1 race and I'll go, okay, I'm done. Thanks very much.
Well, that's because you're doing so much for our community, setting up servers and doing other stuff. You're seriously like an absolute saint to the community. So thank you for everything that you do for all of us. We really appreciate everything you've done, and including launching this channel. To be honest with you, when we first started, I didn't want a Discord server. I didn't want to do anything like that. And honestly, one of the reasons Kart Life or Kart Talk even started out was because I said, you know what, we got to do something more. We got this new membership. Let's take it to the max. And so appreciate all your support and getting this launched and even doing the logo. This was your brainchild. We've tweaked it a little bit, but that was you too. So thank you so much. This is an honor to have you and appreciate that. I mean, I think just kind of to wrap a bow on this and there is one other question about Hero wants to know when we'll get Shroom Ridge and Coconut Mall here, Mario Kart Tour. But you bring up a good point, and like this game is pretty thought out. And I know we kind of joke about it because there's glitches in the game. But I mean, I can't tell you how many other games I've played, mobile games and whatnot that there are those glitches, and much more at a higher pace. And I think that there's one game I still kind of play it a little bit. It's a Looney Tunes game, and they're all giving us like free stuff like every week because of different bugs. And that's like their way to apologize, which kind of be nice if Nintendo did that. But like there's stuff in the game. The game glitches all the time. There's we can't expect them to be perfect. That's just not going to happen, especially as quickly as they're coming out. But yeah, they're going through the progressions. This game is going to be along here for a long time. I will say that when it comes down to like getting frenzies, combos, to your point, FrenzyFans guys, there is this progression where you start to learn about HCR, you start to get better at multiplayer, you start getting Kart Pro, you start getting acclimated to the game. But I do know that the community sometimes is getting a little burnt out and like, hey, how many tours am I going to do this, or how many times do I have to win ranked, and and I think things are starting to open up in the community, like in our lives, like with COVID coming out of we're starting to go to concerts again. We're gonna have the summer coming up. So I do think Nintendo, they've kind of pushed the envelope a little bit and trying to bring us more content, trying to bring us more celebrations and whatnot. But it's kind of before I get to that, anyone want to answer Hero's question, which how many months do you think we'll get Shroom Ridge or Coconut Mall? When do we start to see these deluxe tracks coming into Mario Kart Tour?
I think there's always part of me that thinks the fact they've got it so well thought out, they knew when the DLC was coming. So I think they might have a tour of one of those 2 tracks that ties in with the release of it, and the other one will be in the summer, because they're both quite summery tracks in a way. Like Coconut Mall's definitely like a summery track. So I could see like a mall tour or a tour with Coconut Mall, and maybe even then a summer tour with Shroom Ridge or a mushroom tour or something like that. But I do think and hope that they will have a tour that ties in with the release of the DLC, and it will have one of those 2 in it.
Yeah, because even if they release 2 tours in a row, one with Coconut, one with Shroom Ridge, we're still going to have to wait. We're like tour players will still have to wait, and they'll get to play it first on Deluxe. So they might as well wait a little longer. We're not going to get 2 more new tracks in a row, I don't think. How funny it would be. I just had the thought though, what if it was like What if we got the Shroom Ridge, and it was, and we got like Toadsworth or another original character that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't have? That would be like the biggest, like I would rub that in the Mario Kart 8 players' face so hard. I mean, they could really, if they really want to bring people in, as we know, they should do more of that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I even found myself stepping back from the game a little bit, just playing a little bit less every day. But I will say, I can't see myself not playing this game, like, period. Because like
you can't leave an account. You can't leave an account you worked that hard on to dust.
And part of me is like just the curiosity, like me waking up and like, hey, I wonder if I got daily selects today, or hey, I wonder what tour this game is in. I even talked to a friend this past week who I know very well that doesn't watch any YouTube or anything like that, but he plays this game. He's in our church small group, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I can't not check in. He's like, I just wanted to kind of know what the tour is about and like what's coming. I'm just curious, and so I think from that perspective, this game will always be tied into that curiosity, and I think for that it'll be extended. But to the point I was making just a second ago is that they've come at us with all kinds of brand new tours, all kinds of new tracks, retro tracks, new city tracks. I mean, right now in 2022, we've had 2 city tracks and 2 brand new tracks to the game. I think both of those, Bowser's Castle, Wario's Shipyard, like we've had so much new content in this game. Kind of brings a couple things to the question. It makes us really think about what they're doing with the game. I love the fact that they're bringing us so much new, but kind of to focus on this LA tour, I think one of the questions that might be on all of our mind, and Jeeves specifically calls it out, but are there too many Lucky 7 drivers? Like how thinking back to kind of this meta level, Mario Kart universe, like are we going to get burnt out on certain things like Lucky 7 drivers? Are we going to get burnt out on city tracks? Are we going to, how are we going to react to this on a meta level? So let's just address that question first. Are there too many Lucky 7 drivers?
Well, that's like asking, are there too many coin box drivers? Because it's one of the big 4, they're always going to be there. And again, like it's the big 4, you're always going to see them. I don't think, like, there may be too many in some people's eyes, but that doesn't stop Nintendo from releasing them constantly. So I think either if you think there's too many or not, they're still going to come out and you're still going to see them and you're still going to use them. Like, some may be fantastic, some may be terrible, some may be in the middle. It's just whatever your personal preference is to that character, to that skill, and if you like grinding it or not, because there's always different skills that you can use instead of it. Well, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask it in a different way. Who saw Charging Chuck as a must-pull character this tour?
Well, I did just for okay, good. Don't be afraid.
Because he was an original character, or because of Lucky 7, or what was the reasoning?
Definitely both. I mean, definitely both. But I have heard people say more and more talk about too many Lucky 7s. Coin boxers are more less frequent, right? And they are more of a guaranteed, good investment. Lucky 7s, they're more frequent, but it's the easiest thing to grind. And some might say, it's very easy to grind. Bag in for that 7th place, get a double Lucky 7 frenzy, and that's a record run or whatever. But yeah, I think we're all been surprised, like, really another Lucky 7. I mean, that even happened with Sahela. We were like, really another Lucky 7, because we just had Peach Happy, and I don't know.
Painter. Yep.
And Painter, yeah. But there's a lot. What do you think, FrenzyFans? Because you guys have been tracking this stuff.
I think it's interesting in the sense, just with the community in general, I think it's really easy to find things not to throw anyone under the bus, but easy to find things to complain about because it's annoying in the moment. And so we make these like rash judgmental statements based off of it. But like, what is the actual opposite of that, right? We the reason why we're seeing so many Lucky 7 drivers coming in right now is because we're getting so many new drivers right now. Like 6 months ago, the complaint was we're not seeing anything new. We don't have new tracks. Like Ninja Hideaway was so cool for so long because they didn't release anything cool after that, right? And so a lot of these things that we complain about are literally consequences of what we were requesting. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, would we rather have more bomb cannons or like banana barrel come out? I mean,
Well,
like,
I would say the
I-
response would be maybe new items.
Yeah.
new items, like brand new items to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what would be the counterpoint rather than more of the
Oh.
minus skills. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're not going to bring new items to the game, though, I say like, yeah, let's have some more of these plus ones. So to be honest and frank, like Lucky 7 drivers were never really on my radar. Astro Mario was the first Lucky 7 high-end driver that I ever had higher than level 4. I took him to level 6 in double uncap to begin with, and then I didn't have Peach Happy. And so now Charging Chuck, I know he has some overlap with Peach Happy. So now I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Like Charging Chuck, there's this other driver now that I have interest in. If needs be, like I'm totally fine like leveling him up and like using him as like my second now Lucky 7 driver. I don't think that Lucky 7 drivers are really like the staple in order to be able to be competitive in the game. So I don't know. I guess I don't feel like there are too many Lucky 7 drivers. I do feel like there's a severe lackage of giant banana drivers, though.
Well, of course, yeah.
We all agree
High
on
end
that.
drivers.
I will say on the new items front and the Lucky 7, just a little FYI for anyone who's not familiar with Mario Kart 8, Nintendo actually released a sequel to the Lucky 7 item, which came out in Mario Kart 7, called the Crazy 8. It's the Lucky 7 version in Mario Kart 8. It's the same thing as a Lucky 7, but it's got 8 items. I think it's got a blue shell in there. They
Is it
could
not
release the Crazy 8 to
coins?
tie into the thing, and then it would trump Lucky 7. You never know. I mean, it would be weird. It would kind of invalidate Lucky 7. But what do you think, Larry? Do you see it ever happening? Crazy 8 in Mario Kart Tour?
I think it's a coin and a coin. The
Oh, it's a
Crazy 8 is
coin, yeah.
coin. Yeah.
Oh, the Crazy 8, the extra thing is a coin.
Yeah.
Well, Lucky 7 Plus already has 3 coins. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the equivalent.
anyway.
Interesting. Viking, what do you think?
I'm not sure on this one.
Yeah.
How
I
many
mean,
Lucky
there's-
7 drivers
there's-
do you have, Holy Viking?
Well, I've got a few, and I don't think that there are too many, but I do have like Nabbit is level 5 for me. I've got Holidaisy's pretty high level for me. I've got a few, but and Satellaview, but I just joined, so it's hard for me to tell right now. And I mean, to be honest, the only reason that people are saying or might be saying that there are too many is because they're being released so frequently right now. But that's just to catch up with like other skills like Coinbox and like Fire Flowers got a lot of drivers.
Yeah, I think how we value Lucky 7 is different today than it was a year ago. And the reason I'm saying that is because it used to be a top skill, and now we have Boomerang, and that kind of has changed our thought process on Lucky 7. It's not as as powerful as a Boomerang, like a Boombox Frenzy. But I think the biggest part is like, it really stuck out when I was doing the Peach Vacation Driver of the Week, because I remember when she came out, there weren't very many coin boxes. So her coverage and the tracks that she has, she was just so powerful. And then slowly you see it over time, her number of tracks gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now we have so many coin boxers and they all kind of overlap with each other. Maybe each one has maybe 4 or 5 tracks to itself that we kind of call exclusive. But like out of the 25 or 30 that they have, like, is that you know, maybe it might be 20 to 25. Is that enough? Like, am I seeing really like that much unique value? I think there's a lot where you could just kind of pick a coin box driver, take it to level 6 or 7. That's your guy, and you can kind of fill other gaps. I think kind of the same thing with Lucky 7, where it's like, hey, if you missed out on Happy, not a big deal. You got Saddle of You covering 4 of her tracks. You got Chuck covering 3 or 4 of her tracks. And so you don't need every Lucky 7 driver, because, you know, we have so many of these tracks that are, you know, they're giving tracks here, giving tracks out here. And so like each one's unique value seems to be diminishing. But I think really who loses out of this is all the other skills. Like now to me, like I see absolutely no value in pulling for any of these. I was really intrigued about these golf guys, but I was like, these guys are going to be obsolete. Like, why would I ever use these drivers for a whale account? Now, I think for, you know, someone on the Gold Pass only, or, you know, a small dolphin free to play, maybe there's value there. I don't know. You guys tell me.
I'll rant about the golf pros, so I'm not saying anything.
You can go for it.
I mean, I think it's that classic thing of, you know, the minus skill driver that, okay, if you want to gamble and go all in. I saw a couple of people do it this week. I saw a couple of people like take Mario Golf, Luigi Golf all the way, at least to 6-2, you know, and they know that at least 3 or 4 tours, they will have a top shelf guaranteed in the next 6 months, if not more. It's just a strategy, you know. You have to grind for double coin frenzy though. I mean, but double coin frenzy is a fun challenge. I mean, I took Tanuki Mario all the way when I got him. I decided to take that strategy on that driver because I don't want to get the super leaf. I want to be front running for Lucky 7. I love the character, one of my favorite characters. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be my double coin frenzy stallion. And he came last week and he was my double coin frenzy stallion. It was awesome, you know? So if you do that strategy, you'll get to use it in that way.
I think one of the beautiful things about the game too is, especially for all of us who have been playing for more than a year, I think what got us to where we're at right now isn't going to be the same habits that continue to drive us in the game. But at the same time, there's still people coming into the game that are new that will have to still subscribe to all the strategies we had up to the point that we are. So point being, I think like up until even just like a couple months ago, every new driver was, oh my goodness, I have to get him because we had that FOMO, right? Like, what if they don't release another driver? Or what if I miss this wave? Now that they're releasing stuff so frequently, I think we'll slowly, I think the aspect where we're all feeling burned out is we're keeping our old habits with the new way that the game's being released. And I think over time, we will evolve as like individuals in the game and realize like, okay, I don't need to buy everything. I don't need to take everything to level 6 right away. And I think with that, some of the pressure or like the stressed out, burned outness that we are all feeling will subside a little bit. But
that is so wise. I mean, all your comments are very wise, Frenzy Fangirl. But like that hit me so hard this tour when it comes to carts.
Yeah,
it finally hit me. Like I had the come to Jesus moment about carts, where it was like, oh my God, I did not need to go for all these. Like I have way too many carts that are rare and they all overlap with each other. And they all have like, even if I took them all the way, they each have like 2 unique tracks. That's it. And I'm like, why? Why did I do that? I really feel like a shift happened with me this tour and gliders too, like all those rare special pipe gliders. I really feel like if you grab one rare cart, one rare glider every 3 or 4 tours, you'll be covered. It's going to give you like all the options it gives us on these LA tracks. They're all the rare carts and gliders from the past 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and so you just have to have one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. We're invested.
I mean, not literally one, but like you see my point. You don't have to have them all.
Yeah. Pick your stallion and ride it. You know, put all your, and that's kind of where I was talking about. I believe it was maybe last Kart Talk where I spread my tickets to run too much. I was taking things from 3 to 4, you know, too often. When to your point, just take it to 6 and let that be, you know, the captain of the ship, and you know, fill in the pieces, fill in the gaps where it makes sense. But yeah, in fact, you know, this tour I only bought 1 pack, and last tour I didn't buy any the second week, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like I don't need, Mario baseball at level 3. I don't need the home field glider at level 3. I don't need everything at level 3 to get the pack 3 times. So it's actually been pretty nice, especially to my bank account. But I think that's going to be a trend. Is like I don't need everything at level 6. I can just I can hopefully invest in things just a little smarter, a little wiser, and not be as I don't need to have everything that's on the top shelf. I can just get 1 or 2 items and take it there. But yeah, great points there. As for I think we'd already talked a little bit about the week 2 pipe, but this be Chris asks, do you foresee either of the new drivers or the karts from the week 2 pipe cracking their respective top 10s in the future? And Puffy wanted to jump in on this one.
Oh, you're setting me up for a rant here. So the day those Golf Bros got announced, I had a very big rant on Discord, which was, I think they were the most pointless additions to the tour ever. Because I think they completely overshadowed Chuck. Chuck's the original character. Chuck's the one you never see on anything. He was new to Super Rush. I believe Sammy can correct me on it.
Yeah.
I think he was new to Super Rush, wasn't he? The golf.
Yeah. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
right,
one of
okay,
the new characters in the golf Switch game that everyone was like, oh, interesting inclusion. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So yeah, so he was one of the new ones. He's the one nobody saw coming to the new tour. I wanted this tour to be about him. Since it's in LA, it was during the Super Bowl time, and it was to be about football. Why would you randomly put 2 golf people in it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And again, this is where I rant, because golf is a Scottish tour. No, not Scottish tour, a Scottish sport. Like, it originated in Scotland, and yet it's coming into LA. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see a huge relevance between LA and golf, except the big extravagant golf courses. Like, if they wanted it to have 2 different sporting characters in it, make it a sports tour. Have it as a collective umbrella tour where you can have all these different sport characters within it. Not completely overshadow poor Chuck when this could have been his shining moment, and have these 2 randomly jump into it. And the thing is, they don't even have amazing skills. So you could have easily put them into a sports tour later on in the summer, rather than now, and just let Chuck have that spotlight. So yeah, I don't
reverse engineer that question. Why would they do this? Why wouldn't they want to have a sports tour? Is it because they have that they have too much coming up, that they wanted just to kind of get these off their plate, or do they plan on not coming to Scotland, or what are the tea leaves we're trying to read here?
Oh, well, the thing is, I will never ever expect a Scotland tour. We're far too small for that. Never gonna happen. I can only have it in my dreams, but I'll never expect one ever. Edinburgh tour would be amazing.
Well,
and I will wait for the day that I have
Wario, it would be
Wario
cool.
Bagpiper. I'm waiting for Wario
You
Bagpiper.
never know. I mean, you never know. But I mean, to reverse to answers, they added these classic golf costumes to Mario Golf Super Rush. So it is a tie into that. Like, that happened a couple weeks ago. And there is the baseball stuff. You have the cleanup hitters, that you have Mario baseball pack. So they're kind of are making it a sports tour. But hey, yeah, get that hashtag justice for Chuck going, and yeah.
Well, so this be Chris. Thank you for Puffin. I was really glad that you got that off your chest. Hopefully now you can sleep better tonight. But this be Chris does ask a little different question. He says, do you foresee any of these new drivers or karts being valuable? And to me, I even said on the rundown, like, I've been doing the rundown for 14, 15, 16 months now. I don't know what to say about it, man. I have this week 2 pipe is so different from all the other pipes we've ever seen. Does anybody have any predictions, thought processes, perspectives on this week 2 pipe and what its value could be?
What makes it more different other than there's no gliders? I mean, what to you makes it odd?
2 new drivers, 2 new cards in a week 2 pipe where the skills are irrelevant. The cards
Small
are
hitbox. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it just seems like, you know, you put 2 new things in week 1 pipe, you put 4 in the week 2 pipe. Like there's that aspect of it. And then there's like the I don't think we've ever had, you know, 4 new items in a week 2 pipe like this.
I mean, the answer might be, yeah, it might just be such a simple answer staring you in the face, which is that to make us wonder if we need to pull for them and to make whales pull for them. I mean,
like there's part of me thinking that one of them or 2 of them at least will become one of those rare drivers that you randomly see constantly in ranked, and you go, oh, why didn't I get it? Because you saw that with Blackbird would kind of been one of them, like any of the wee random ones, like Fire Rosalina, anything like that, and it always kind of bites you back because it's such a really like not a valuable cart, not a valuable driver, but it'll always be that little stinker that keeps appearing. So it could potentially be that, or it could just be that.
Counterpoint to that, though, I would find myself pulling for them and keeping them at level 1, and then when they do come up in ranked, using the second shelf coin boxer. because I don't want to invest the tickets, especially now that tickets are a little bit harder to come by. So now just having these like top shelf guys like at the ready isn't it anymore. I mean, 4 or 5 months ago, you watched some of our episodes and we're like, yeah, you know, you want to pull on some of these. If you think it's trash, it's going to be gold. Just try and get it first. And then if in the future you need it, then put tickets on it. Well, in the future, when there's tickets on it, when they would be available for tickets, that's when like the Astro Mario comes out and you're like, oh, I totally want to.
Right.
So then you've nullified your strategy of trying to prepare for the future.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm, you know, I totally think this is going to be one of those pipes where the items are going to be very valuable, that they're going to be rostered more on the top shelf than some others that are coming out around this time. But I don't think that it's like a competitive, like make or break thing. Cause I thought the same thing with Penguinette. And yeah, I'm using her this this rank cup, but on a course that I actually don't need any points on. Because my ranked is weird this week. Like I've only played the 2 courses and I'm in 2nd place. So like, I don't need a top shelf level 6, very rare driver. Like it's maybe just a collector's pipe then. I mean, Larry's the collector. He went in on it. Great pipe pulls, by the way. Studfit, remind me, are you pulling this pipe as a whale?
I did, just because I was intrigued, but I really don't want to say because it's going to make people feel really bad. I got Luigi on the free pipe, the freebie.
Dude, I got Green Lightning last week.
Did you? Yeah, a lot of people got like the reverse. So I saw some people charging Chuck as the non-spotlight this week too.
I know.
It's really been a weird tour like that. But then I did 3 10 pulls and got Mario and the sneaker, and I think that's it. So yeah, to me it was just perplexing enough. One of the things that got me intrigued enough to pull is kind of what you guys were talking about. I think Puffton mentioned Blackbirdo and like that week 2 pipe that everyone overlooked. And then we saw in the summer all these carts, these week 2 carts that were the only new thing in the pipe. We think in Silver King, Romby Runner. Like we felt like these are the things we want. And it's weird how Nintendo like brainwashes us and conditions us like, hey, these are what you really, really want, as these things that you didn't know that you wanted, which makes us like reverse psychology now want the things we don't want. And so I think it's all just a complete mind game. But to your point earlier, Sammy, is like, I think, with the reason that Silver King and Romby Runner was so valuable is because carts, there's so many carts that like you want one cart to kind of rule them all. And so I think it hit us a little different than the drivers. But to everyone's point, and Sammy's specifically now, it's like, guys, we have so many options. Like, we don't need all these top shelf carts. We don't need all these top shelf drivers. So, collecting dust is not something necessarily that I really care about. So to me, if I didn't have the rubies, probably wouldn't have pulled on it. But I think pulled 400 or so rubies this tour, got everything that I wanted out of all three pipes, and to me, I'm not really spending as much in the game. So I felt pretty comfortable just getting those three items and moving on. I don't know what's going to come. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm still kind of adjusting my strategy. But when it comes to these pipes, I think Nintendo's just trying to set new trends and trying to kind of keep us on our toes just enough to where they're not as predictable as we think that they are.
Yeah, well said.
I can also see it being a really good pipe for a younger account. Like, I remember when I first started playing, I ended up getting, I think it was like Builder Mario and Builder Toad. And nobody was talking about them at the time, but because they were like my first high-end drivers that I pulled and I leveled up kind of at a reasonable rate, I saw them everywhere, but nobody was ever talking about them. So I think sometimes we fall into this habit of thinking like, well, what does this pertain to me? But we have to think like, if Nintendo's goal is to get tons of more people on the platform over a long period of time, we're going to see these pipes that are not relevant to us at all, but serve younger accounts.
It is hard though, because pipe one has not just Chuck with Lucky 7, but it's got the extra large hitbox cart.
Yeah.
And the Romby, like stuff like that, they often hide, sometimes when they hide the hitbox cart in week 2, that's when you really want to go in. But I mean, these two are both small. I do have a feeling about the Green Lightning. I think the name alone, like, it's just like it's kind of a famous sounding cart name. I can't really see it being a dud, but we'll see.
I don't know. We kind of thought
it's a good name
about the silver bullet, thinking that
I know.
silver bullet, then it's like this.
We overanalyze these things, dude. I have a
right.
Yep. I'll admit I was I don't remember.
You're like, I remember. I think about you every time I see that cart.
Yeah,
when you said this could be the one cart to solve all your track problem.
I like bury my face in my hands every time.
We've gotta consider all possibilities. Yeah. But the burger plus Chuck makes, even for a new player, I think they're gonna go the week 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it should. BrianVoice asks, for those who own it, and from its feel and look, does Combo Cruiser have a hitbox up there with Crawley, and definitely up there with the Painster? So we may have we might actually have a replacement, not a replacement, because Curtis is unreplaceable. But I will say the hitbox, we might actually have a solution for getting the hitbox dimensions. So thankful. It's actually a huge lift, but he's picking it up. So one of our members, Elarak 23, I believe is how it's pronounced. He's a member of ER, and he's connected with Curtis, and he's connected with Alex, and he's working on it. He does say that it is right up there with the off-roader and the Vampire Flyer, if not nearly the same exact size. Depends if you count the straw or not, is what he said. So there's that little straw on the back that technically is part of the hitbox, but it may not get you a coin or all because it's in the back. But anyway, that the length of it does adjust based on that straw. You've seen the straw. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
I feel like it's so far in the center though that it's not going to grab anything.
But when you're looking at like the dimensions of it.
Yeah, I know, but still, I feel like this maybe.
So if the straw comes out, it makes that box a little bit bigger. So
right, but isn't it kind of aimed straight back?
Because
while you're drifting,
a bit of a zoom broom thing.
While you're drifting,
don't get me started on this. Don't get me started on this. We got to talk about the brooms, but
we'll definitely talk about the brooms. I will say, the Combo Cruiser. I don't know if you guys who owns it and can tell me I'm an idiot. But I feel like it handles a little chunky. Like I don't really necessarily like the way it handles. How do you guys feel?
Get used to any cart. Yeah, you gotta get used to any. I mean, you'll get used to it probably. I think all carts at first, just because of the axis, which I'm a believer in the axis theory. You kind of have to get used to it.
Or is it the courses that you're driving it on? Because
That
LA
too.
laps, super hard, like very frustrating laps.
Because of the tight dirt paths.
Yeah, and just the
Yeah,
whole
'cause you
thing,
can't
it
squeeze
doesn't feel like
in.
it's optimized for like actual like legitimate driving. Like it's
Yeah,
like normally
I did
the
like
normal and reverse tracks are bad, but this is like even worse.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if
did
you're getting that
today's-
correlation that cart is hard to drive
Yeah.
because it's on these courses that
it
just
needs to be factored in. It should be
Yeah.
factored in. I did a today's challenge race where I was thrown onto LA track with like a random small cart, and I was running it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm able to bang out so many more turbos just with a small cart. It's definitely, something to factor in. But then on a track like Warrior Shipyard, a big car is nice, even though it's tight, because you got barrels, you got coins. I mean, there's so many factors to hitbox strategy. If you're clipping coins, clipping other people, you want to make less of a footprint, bigger footprint, depending on the track. But the Cupid cart, that's the one I got kicked with the FOMO on and had to go into the special pipe yet again, because everyone told me that the things in the front actually make for a huge hitbox. These big red fins that are in the front.
Do they?
That's what they're saying. And it's true. I forget who posted a clip, Kruger or something, where he did a drift around. A coin was like over to the side. The coin was like barely even touching the side, and it got the coin. It was crazy.
Oh.
Whereas the Zoom Broom, Chris mentioned it on a recent episode, but I really do think the straw in the back is like transparent on the hitbox. Like you don't get coins with the back of the broom.
Yeah.
I think, unless I'm crazy, they always seem to go right through.
Hmm.
It's like they forgot to build that into the hitbox. It's like an extra, I don't know. But I think the Cupid Zero, do you guys been racing with that? Anybody?
didn't pull hard.
Okay.
I don't have it.
I
Wow.
used it once or twice. I thought it was an interesting hitbox, but it makes you wonder, like, what if the shape of the cart is like has more something in the front versus something in the back? Does that allow for more coin catching? And so there's always the debate of, even the hitbox when we were talking about originally, it was going to be like the actual like 3D box, and now it's like it's a little different. Now it's like, as you're drifting, you're going at an angle. So we have like the dimensions of what that angle would look like. So yeah, but we don't know. We really don't know. You're a good point. Like, what if the box is just like built in this invisible? We don't know.
Yeah, is it a model that has different prongs and indentions and extrusions,
And I think a lot of it has to do with just using it and getting the word out, like, hey, the Cupid's arrow does have a little bit more, volume to it than it might look like, or whatever. And that's gonna be really, really tough to get, especially when we think about top 10 lists and everything else going on into that.
Yeah.
Good point there. Anyone else want to add to that? Viking, maybe, or Larry?
Well, I did pull for the burger cart, and the dimensions are pretty nice, and it's not that hard to drive. It's a little easier for me than like a dozer, but for me, the straw, I haven't gotten anything with the straw, and I've been using the burger cart on almost every track just because I like it.
My friends and I we had this long text thread on our on text about the toppings. We were like we were zooming in, like analyzing the render of the tomato. Like the actual skin of the tomato is shiny, and then there's like 2 layers of cheese, and there's like 1 slice of American. There's like melted white cheddar under it. We were like, that is impressive. They put so much detail. And then we were having this debate at the very top under the bun. There's a dollop that could either be a perfectly flattened dollop of mayo or a sliced onion. So I'm curious if you're team mayo or team onion, because it would be weird if there was no mayo on it. Also weird if there's no onion. So
yeah,
you believe it's
Team
mayo
all the way.
but it hasn't been splushed out. Like they haven't pressed the bun down. It's just like a perfect.
No, but it's kind of like when you press it and there's like a gap, it just kind of fills the gap. It's like almost
What's light mayo? Light mayo then, because the ketchup's like sprawling out.
I'm not a raw onion fan, so I'm gonna go
Yeah.
mayo.
It's a beautiful.
Larry.
It's an impressive car.
Larry, do you have your Lego configuration?
yeah.
still?
That thing is
yeah.
amazing.
It's
This is
Yeah,
so
show
cool.
everyone.
Oh,
He's got his
so
own
good.
custom. You have your own custom.
That's amazing.
No, but
It was
that's from
amazing.
a SpongeBob set, the Burgermobile. So I just
Yeah.
but the Larry is kind of custom, yeah.
I love that it was like literally in your arm's reach. Like,
Yeah, no, it's still standing there from the pipe pudding party. That's why it's
Wow.
still, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, your intro question, your icebreaker, I thought of an idea. So a little fun question here. Do you guys think that we'll ever have other normal reskins? Like I know we have Baby Mario Koala, you know, and you know, do you think we could ever and Baby Peach Cherub? You think we could have another normal reskin?
we definitely
Koopaling?
will. We definitely
Like,
will. The
what-
Koopaling is more of the question.
Okay. What do you think?
So many of them. I don't know. Larry.
Yeah, it has to be Larry, yeah.
So what you think you could have a Larry Alt? What do you think, man? What would you if you had to predict it or put together a wish for Nintendo in case Nintendo's listening? What would you want? You want a Larry Pirate?
I would say out of my Larrys, I would like the most Larry Paint. I would say that
Painter?
Yeah.
Painter.
Nice.
I like it. Put it on the wish list there. All right. We promised we'd get to the question about the Zoom Broom, so we'll move on to the Sky Tour. We all watched the reaction or the reveal this morning. We saw like a little glimpse yesterday. We actually saw the video now, so we'll start talking about the Sky Tour. And without further ado, this be Chris asks a question on a scale from 9 to 10. How excited are you, Sammy, for more Zoom Brooms?
Oh, I mean, I'm excited to pass on the pipe, so very excited. It's an easy skip. Got Kamek, don't need the brooms. And to our point that we always talk about, the regular Zoom broom is so valuable meta-wise. Like, do you think the others are going to be too? I mean, it'd be rare for them all to be must-haves. I think it's more like for the collectors of like there's so many Rosalina fans and they're going to pull on it, you know, for that Rosa's Zoom broom, Peach's Zoom broom.
I was gonna say to Tabor to homage to Tabor.
Yeah,
Is it
somewhere
gonna
Tabor
be
is
somebody? Is it going to be somebody's possessive?
definitely.
Zoom
It
broom?
has to be, unless it's Rosalina's Chemex Zoom broom. It's her. No, it'll be Rosa's Zoom broom, Peach's Zoom broom. Don't you think? I don't know. It might be like I don't know.
What do you guys think?
The witch broom.
Halloween.
Yeah, it might be like
Halloween
might be
Zoom
like-
broom? Which
I
Zoom
was-
broom?
it might be like
I was
Starry
thinking-
Zoom broom. or
Yeah,
whatever.
Starry Zoom broom was what I was
Oh,
going to say.
that's cool.
Like fire Zoom broom or flame or kind of
Yeah,
something like that.
fiery Zoom.
like
Yeah,
fiery Zoom broom and starry Zoom broom. Those are my two.
yeah. You never know these days. They're gonna name stuff.
So Reddy asks, what are your thoughts on what the special pipe would be? Is it going to be a Zoom broom special pipe? And then we saw a bunch of probably the most awkward part of the entire preview video was this moment where we saw a bunch of super drivers driving pipe frames. And we were like, what's going on here? Do you think we'll have like a pipe with more supers in it? Is his question. What do you think about this the special pipe?
Well, someone said that the supers could be the two-player challenge and those are your opponents.
Yeah.
Then with that point, you're looking at all the different drivers in it and you're going, what the heck is the special pipe going to be?
Yeah, no, because it doesn't.
Because it
yeah.
doesn't really give you a definite answer because you see Nuke and you automatically assume those two are going to be the paid banners.
Yeah.
Whereas if we then take the Super two-player challenge, because that hasn't been there for a while, you kind of start to go, what is the special pipe going to be?
Yeah.
Because you also kind of know that the Zoom brooms and the witches are most likely going to be pipe 2.
Yeah.
Are going to be week 2, with Aviator being week 1. But then you also wonder, because then Kamek's in it. But then you see, it's a tough one because there's no real kind of driver or cart or glider jumping out at you going, that's going to be the special pipe. Like everything else somehow has its place.
Yeah.
But not the special pipe.
Process of elimination. Because like week two spotlights have been shown in the main image for every single tour, I think, ever. You know, it would be really odd if they showed the special pipe drivers in the loading screen. So I'm assuming it's a 12 high-end pipe week 2, right?
Wow.
Unless there's no gliders again, because you know, it lists the gliding display, whatever you call
the timer glider,
which looks amazing. That and the angel wings could be like packs, you know, and then week 2's got kind of like the golf pipe where it's like there's no gliders, but we got 3 drivers, 3 brooms. But yeah, those supers, they're all the original Super Mario Kart drivers, although I don't think you see Koopa Troopa, but he could have been in there. You know, we think about the throwback drivers pipe we always talked about, the special pipe with all these great super odds. It's great for pulling because you get great coin value. But that throwback drivers pipe had high ends in it. It had a high end version of, right? Didn't it have like a Mario and a Peach and a high end? So there were no high ends shown. It's really strange.
So Sammy D, if the Zoom brooms were commemorative items, the $4 packs, would you go for them?
I would probably skip them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely skipped some commemoratives. I just hate the broom so much. I hate to say it, but
passionately hating it. Yeah,
I do.
Oh man, I think the Zoom brooms has to be in a special pipe to me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm thinking like Tanuki Mario and the cart being the week 2, but I don't know for certain.
They would, but that would break all precedent of who they show in the startup screen there.
I mean, I'll let you know that Nintendo is trying to do exactly the opposite of what they've been doing. So I don't know. I'm just, to me, it's like, it just seems just so, honestly, really, this tour and last tour, just like, they're like, the week 1 pipe makes complete sense. Week 2 special pipe, it's just like random and out of left field. So I don't know why they're bringing Halloween stuff back in March. I don't know why they have sneakers and why they have like golf, like all this stuff just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to the team. But I don't know what to say about the supers. I just it caught me off guard. People are like, oh well, the zucchini is going to be a gold pass gift. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, the brooms fly in the sky. So sky. What do you guys think though about the special? Could you imagine a 30 pipe that has all supers in it? Like, I haven't even thought this through. Is there any way that would be a good pipe? Like,
what if it's a glider special pipe with the angel wings and the gliding distance ticker?
Yeah. But why were all those supers shown? And their pipe frames? What do you think?
I'm thinking maybe it's just like tour rewards. That you just get a bunch of supers in the tour rewards instead of like commons.
I was reminded with a new friend who started the game that when you start the game in Gold Pass rewards, you get all these drivers. You get basically all those drivers. It's like triple the amount of Gold Pass driver rewards on your first tour. So look, they're promoting the DLC. Sky Garden connects directly to it. People who are psyched about the DLC could actually play Sky Garden early and start learning the track by downloading Mario Kart Tour. They're coming to the game. Maybe there is some way they're just giving everybody a bunch of supers or something.
Yeah. What about like a reskin special pipe where it's just all the new reskins are options to pull? That'd be fun.
I think maybe a little bit OP if they were to have that many reskins, because I think they show like 5 or 6 supers, and so if it was 5 or 6 high ends.
Oh no, not reskins of them, but I'm talking about like the Zoom brooms. Like the Zoom brooms are a reskin, so it was just like all the spotlights were reskins of previous.
Right.
Yeah. Well, John Boy asks a little bit more about the Mario pilot. How are you feeling about yet another Mario alt, back-to-back tours? And let's talk about what kind of skill predictions we got for our little pilot friend.
I'm excited for Top Gun to be released.
Top Gun. That's your name going to be for him? Yeah.
Maybe it's coming
Tom
out.
Cruise. Okay.
I love him. You see him here from Super Mario Land. I think the cart and glider, how they work together, is really cool. It looks like the wings are attached to the cart. That's kind of a new concept for the game. Like you don't see like a set that pairs that perfectly together. So I like him a lot. It's my birthday tour. I'm gonna pull for him. So yeah.
Happy birthday, by the way. Early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. I like how it looks a lot.
Yeah.
What about specifically though, having back-to-back Marios? Right? So we got, I know he's week 2, but like I know
it happened once before. I forget when. Maybe Larry can remember. It happened once before. Larry's our Anteled. He's our favorite. But it happened once before. And then the weird thing is March 10th, Mario Day. Remember how they did Mario Tour last year?
Yeah.
And the Mario Bros Tour the year before that? We were already thinking that the tour after this was going to be maybe a Mario themed tour. So would they do 3 in a row is now what we're wondering.
Oh my gosh.
But for the skill, I'm going to say for the last time, once and for all, this is the dash ring. It's happening. It's happening, and I will never predict it ever again after this.
Oh man, I said this a couple times. Man, if I got a quarter for every time someone misguessed,
this is it. Finally happening.
Could buy packs for the rest of my life here. Yeah, man, a dash ring. Like I don't know why they don't like. It's like a mini giant banana. It's like we want it so bad, but we don't. I mean, but they don't want to give it to us. Not the dash ring was, or dash ring was like really something we wanted. But it's actually a skill that I think most people would buy.
I've always liked the skill. What do y'all just go around and predict your skill?
So yeah, I was looking, and there were 2 times where it happened. Then the Mario was 2 times in a row. So it was first but very early the Mario Happy in the New Year's tour, and then Ice Mario in the Ice tour, and then Mario SNES in the Super Mario Kart Tour, and Mario Sunshine in the Los Angeles Tour 2020. So it happened already 2 times. Yeah.
I think dash ring would be really cool if they could make it look like it's coming off the propellers, like the propellers are like creating the dash rings and throwing them out. You could get some cool pictures like from the front looking back at them being thrown out.
Yeah, it makes sense for the plane, you know. Yeah. So you imagine like flying through the rings and stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I know Puffy's going boomerang.
Yeah, I know. I think it's boomerang.
That would be so soon after Luigi, though.
I know, but it just makes sense to me. And I said like my logic in your premiere, which was the boomerangs look like the propellers of the plane.
Yeah.
And because like you throw them, they're in the air. Right. And if you see them like the plane flying and the boomerangs flying around it, I think that would look really cool. And I don't know why, but I just there's part of me that thinks it's going to be boomerang. And if not, it'll be bomb cannon, and then we'll just cry.
Bomb cannon. That does kind of make sense.
I know.
Like a bomber plane.
Totally.
Yeah, but I don't know if a company that's located in Japan really wants to highlight bombing from.
That's true. That's true.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Mikey, what do you think, man?
I think it'll be the Super Leaf.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
It makes sense to me because I mean, like the propeller makes a lot of wind, and he's brown. So.
Gosh, I don't need to go for another Super Leaf Mario.
You've already.
If he's got a Super Leaf, I will, because I don't have a Super Leaf yet. So I don't want to pull for him, but if he's got a Super Leaf, I will.
Wow. So Yeah, so as a background, Viking's relatively new to the game. And so he's experiencing things a little different than some of us when it comes to these investments and stuff. So you don't have either the Tanuki drivers. So you actually haven't been cursed to actually use it yet. As we're just
No.
it's not as good as you think it is. Put it that way. All right. So has everyone said their skill prediction?
I don't think Larry has, and I haven't yet.
Larry.
Yeah,
Okay, go for it.
but I
Larry.
don't really know what skill it would be, but dash wing would sound the best, I guess. Yeah. After hearing what you all are saying, yeah.
Okay, so mine is going to be another hashtag unpopular
I was
opinion.
gonna say
but only
hashtag.
because we
Drum
do this so often where we're like, Vacation Luigi, he has mushrooms on his shirt. It's gonna be mushroom. It's gonna be
Yeah.
mushroom cannon,
Right.
and then it's not.
Right.
And the list goes on. So I'm going to venture out and say that it's gonna be giant banana because it makes absolutely no sense, completely out of left field, and it's just Nintendo giving us the I can do whatever I want finger.
That
That'd
would
be
be the
so
most
annoying.
be the most hype thing to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
to as if this year wasn't like crazy enough so far.
It'd be so annoying, especially if he's flying like a majority of the time, and then just like, what a waste.
Right? Exactly. It doesn't make sense, and it would be dumb. Hence, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a really, really good point. Is that Nintendo
see
will
it.
probably do the exact opposite of what we think. But I will say, this is the one to go from one extreme to the other, going from the least likely, which is probably likely, to the most likely, which who knows what could happen. I think it's anything but Dash Ring. Like that's my vote, is like literally anything except for Dash Ring, because it is not going to be
Sure.
Dash Ring. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be Dash Ring. It's just not going to happen.
Want to
this
put
is-
a friendly wager on it? You have to dress up as a dash ring.
I'm all for a wager. Let's do a wager. I'm good with that. I don't know if
Yes.
dressing up like a dash ring makes a lot. I could dress
Yeah,
up like a pilot. Either one of us, whoever loses, has to dress up like a pirate.
Pirate.
Pirate, no,
Oh.
I was
pilot.
gonna say, wait, a pirate or a pilot?
Sorry.
Like a
What am I getting
Plumber.
myself into
Pilot.
here?
Pilot.
What am I so-
Plumber, pilot.
You want to take the dash ring? I'll take the field.
That's kind of unfair.
That's
I'm not a
totally
gambling
unfair.
man. I'm not a gambler like you, man. That's the thing. I don't.
right,
Let me think
hey.
about it. I'll think about it.
If you're too chicken, I get it. I understand.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel too good about
Forty.
it. Hey, now we understand, like, because so fun little fact. I'm sure FrenzyFans Gal would probably like this. I know you've gotten into a little of the psychology in the past, but one of the things I read this past week was, if you're having a hard time making a decision, think about flipping a coin. I know it's like been done before with Two-Face stuff, but the actually like putting value on a head or tail, and then when you flip it, thinking which one you wish it will land on, actually truly allows you to understand psychologically which one you were rooting for to begin with. And so, I think, like, in a way, that's kind of what I'm doing by saying, like, do you believe in Dash Ring? And if you're not ready to bet on it, then maybe you aren't. And I think that's maybe a true telling of kind of how many times we've been fooled by Nintendo. Probably more about that than really your thought process or the logic behind it, right? It's less about it's more about the trust issue than it is the logic for you.
Yeah, I do think that the more time goes on, though, the chance is likelier.
I can see that. This be Chris asks a question, and I know we have some more questions. We're coming up at the end of our time, so I'll kind of go a little bit more rapid round here. But this be Chris asks, we've had a lot of celebrations and tours recently. Do you see this momentum of new courses and drivers carrying into the spring, or do you think we may hit a string of filler tours in the coming months?
I think
Indeed,
with
filler
the
tours.
introduction to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with that DLC that they're doing, I think that there's no way that they're going to keep doing filler tours. There's just too much content that they want to pour into the game.
Well, and that brings up a whole other topic, which is, what is a filler tour? Like, is this a filler tour? Like, it begs the question. So maybe that's probably where we start. But yeah, we've been coming out of these celebrations. How do we not have a celebration? Like when this tour is over, are they going to give us a break tour and then another celebration, a spring celebration, or like are we going to be out celebration? Like where do we go from the Sky Tour?
Well, 2.5 is going to be coming up next month.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Celebrate.
And it's Sammy
Yeah.
D's birthday, so let's celebrate.
It looks like Ninja Tour was April 7th, so we could get away with like one tour and then and then starting a 3-tour 2.5, but they might not do a 2.5. They didn't do a 3-tour celebration for the 2nd anniversary. I'm personally never celebrationed out. I think it's always a great way. If you went from one to another to another to another, that's fine to me. It's just a way to kind of brand, kind of seasons, and I think that's cool. I think we'll see a lot of them. We had one tour in between holiday and winter time, so we could have one in between this and 2.5.
I think at some point you do need fillers, because you can only go on so long with so much content before you get burnt out. So I think having a tour which has basically nothing in it, is just a repeat of all the different tracks, not even new tracks, no new drivers, no new DKG, literally just a tour there, that even though you're going to have everyone go, this is terrible, there's nothing in it, I'm so upset, it doesn't matter, because there's your filler tour, there's your saving tour, and that's where you can at least take a break. So I think that's what everyone needs, from either new people to the very top. You need a break at some point.
It's what everyone needs, but there's no incentive for Nintendo to do that, right?
No, I know that.
Why would they just give us a break?
They did in the Bowser vs. DK tour last year.
No, but we had the
people
Rambi
actually
run.
quite like that.
That's the difference, is that I know, but that became a big meta cart and a big favorite for people. As long as there's one new something, to me, I don't really think there ever is a filler tour. I mean, even that was called a filler tour at the time, but you look back on it, it's like, yeah, and there's always things you can do with your resources,
The thing is, I feel like if you don't have anything in it, it makes people want more. And it's like, oh, I want this and I want that. And it makes them kind of anticipate, I want something more out of it.
It's a good point.
Because that's like a kind of waiting game, having that little tour that maybe doesn't have what you want and doesn't have much. Having that anticipation in the back, going, oh, I want something more. And then coming in with this big surprise, slamming the door open, going, this is it.
Yeah.
And it gives people time to save. Because if you go through each tour, bam, 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 with new things constantly, as much as people are going to be spending more money, that's when it comes to maybe your free to play or your gold pass that maybe want something, but they've already spent all their rubies in the previous tour because they saw something they liked. And then the next tour they've seen something else they liked and like, oh no, I don't have the rubies for it. So I think having that little gap where you can save and you can just kind of relax a bit and say, I've got a nice little ruby pillow there that whenever something else comes up in this big extravagant tour, I can go for it and I feel okay about it.
I love the tours where they have like the catch-up pipes. So if you like when they have like I guess we've been seeing them more often, but where they have like the gold pipes, or what was the one back in the day where I was able to just, was it supers? It was like a couple high ends and then just tons of supers that you're able to pull.
The heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter pipe. Yeah, something like that, where if they're pushing out all this content so frequently, like it's going to be impossible for the average player to actually keep up with it. And so if they have these, instead of calling them filler, like catch up tours or something like that, where we can actually get our head over water, that'd be great.
I think these are all great ideas. It's interesting, right? So, we have these celebrations. I kind of compare it to music, right? You can't have a drop every 2 seconds. You have to build. You have to have those lows in order for the highs to be high. But like you can't. Nothing says you can't have it high. 75% of the time. You just have a little lull here. I will say. I hear people sometimes saying, "Well, people are just going to quit the game then because there's nothing going on." Honestly, I don't think that's the case. When I look back at last year, Abdallah quit during the Ninja Tour. Ghost Shiny quit during the Kamek Tour. These are some of the best moments in the game, and people were walking away. I don't think having a filler tour is going to have people walk away from the game. So that's just my opinion. Is like I think we think that, but I think sometimes people think they feel like they're saving, and this is good. I can kind of take a break. I can step away from the game for a little bit more than I normally would, because I'm not worried about grinding tokens or trying to hit Kart Pro, or like, there's the little breaks in the game that we actually would help us mentally be able to because I think that is one thing that I hear. I know Jeeves kind of took a little step away from the game for a week or two. And I think sometimes, maybe Nintendo builds that in where, we do have to have a break in order for us to keep going long-term into this game for 2, 3, 5 more years. So, I don't know. I'm not opposed to a filler tour, but I think, every tour we should be, bracing ourselves and pacing ourselves on how much we're playing the game. And, if Nintendo helps us with that, then that's fine too. There was a miscellaneous question I wanted to get out there because an anonymous question asker asked this question last tour. I didn't get to it, but Wario Shipyard, we have these transitions from air to water, and then water to air. Should we change the way we drive underwater, or is there any impact on keeping combo? Have you guys found that the shells, red, blue, green, etc., acting differently under the water versus in the air versus on the ground?
The good thing is you're not underwater long enough for it to make a huge deal. Like Cheap Lagoon, you're spending half the track underwater, and that's part of why, because you got to make through this long gauntlet. But Wario Shipyard, you kind of have these little moments, and you kind of can plan what you have to do in each moment. But I would go back to what you said in one of your tips, Studfit, about trying to add a second finger into your turn. I've got to the point recently where I am very often using multiple fingers to drive. I actually recently found, I didn't even notice, I was like, I have 3 fingers going on this move right now. I was like, because I was turning, I was doing the double turn or the double finger turn.
Yep.
I was also trying to go down underwater because I wanted to land. In Wario Shipyard, I do a lot of finger up to just make sure I'm staying down as much as possible, not catching any error, So I was like, had this weird contorted finger thing going on.
How do you hold the phone?
Yeah, I got big hands, so. But yeah, I think just like isolating each underwater section and figuring out what are the combos for this, what are the combos for that, and going from there. But it doesn't seem as bad as something like Cheap because you're not under the water for as long. Any other thoughts from any Frenzy fans?
So I actually had a rant.
Who's been grinding it?
Yeah, so I had a rant a couple weeks ago when what was it? I think it was the Shipyard T was in ranked because I kept on breaking combo when gliding into water.
Yeah.
So I got on my Discord and I was like, what programmer thought that it was a good idea to go from gliding into water where it just breaks? And I was just getting frustrated. To be honest, like that course, I think I just played it enough to get the points, and then I was like, I'm done. Like, I didn't grind for level points or whatever. Like these new courses, I find, so like LA Laps and Shipyard, I'm actually playing like the least out of all of the ones in the entire tour. So
yeah, I'm the same way. I used to do all the player level for them. I don't anymore. But Wario Shipyard will come back, this year a couple times in ranked. So
I know
it's gonna be inevitable. You're gonna have
to get used to it. I'm not a big fan of R, to be honest. The R I don't like when you're you go up near the mast of the ship. Is that the front? And you're coming back down, and you're kind of coming back a little bit to your right. like that area, as you're coming into the water and going down, I just have a hard time.
Is that the Meowser one?
What's that?
Is that the Meowser one? Or
yeah, it might be. Yep. Which is Meowser's fine because he's got the coin box, so you can kind of use it to help you out. But like going down, if I don't have a coin box, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
But
I haven't noticed any shell stuff.
Well, what about on the ship when you do have a coin box? Have you noticed that like the coins actually like shift at like a 45 or 50-degree angle? Like if you're going around, I think it's like the ship that like turns or something. Like they don't fall the right way. And this is frustrating. I don't like it.
On the Meowser part, like the stretch Studfit's talking about, even when I do have a coin box frenzy, I'm finding I'm not getting as many as I think I should.
KnightRoso asked a question last tour as well. I didn't get to it. Do you think that the driver's size should be added to Tabor's rankings? As we talk about many times, well, first off, if you remember on my hitbox video, which I'll have a link in the description, I mentioned that the drivers have large, medium, and small, but I mainly focused my attention on the cart size, because the cart size, it's not categorized large, medium, small. It's each one's very unique from another, as we kind of alluded to earlier. But we've taken that to the nth degree, to the point where we have the hitbox size as part of our algorithm. And when we don't have someone like Curtis putting it together, we literally don't know what to do. We're like, well, how should we handle this? But I don't know if we put a lot of emphasis in, when it comes to top 10 rankings, or even, when it comes to the overlap, the driver size. So we have small, say, hitbox, when you're thinking about Coinbox specifically, you have a small driver like a Gold Koopa, you have a medium like PGP, and then you have a large one like Meowser, or even like somewhere Rosalina. But a small driver has about 15% smaller hitbox than a medium driver, and a large one 15% larger. That's a 30% difference between a small to a large, which easily could be a couple hundred points, maybe even 1,000 points for a coin boxer. This also affects how you get 2 coins or not from the top of ramps, etc. throughout on the track. So should we have driver size be more inclusive in our top 10 rankings?
I don't want to go first every time.
Right.
Me neither. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, it kind of begs just like kind of overview of the rankings more, where it's like, it's just a hot list kind of the past 6 months. Probably wouldn't make that much of a difference in the top 10s and all that. Plus, I think of it as just something you just kind of keep in your mind. I mean, if you got 2 coin boxers, obviously you're going to go with the heavier one. I wouldn't say it needs to be factored into the algorithm, but I don't get too involved in what should or should not be in these algorithms.
Yeah, because I think, Studfit, you kind of touch on it a lot during your rundown. You say, we could have the top 10 where it's just the top 10 like coin boxers, because coin box is king, so on and so forth. I think if that were to be the case, where we're running into first is coin box, second is coin box, and third is coin box. Yeah. Well, which out of those ones is going to be the one that's going to take the cake? I actually think that it would be worthwhile on like the BAM and GURBS to have a delineation, like have like a 1 point like increase on the biggies, and then have it be like your normal points for whatever your points and base, like your caps, whatever it is, and then like a -1, so that when you are looking at like your ranking, or you're trying to compare like drivers and coverage, because you could have Gold Koopa free running, or that has some overlap with another one, and if you have them at the same level,
I would totally date him.
If you have them at the same level, then it's helpful to know that because in the game we're under the impression that that the value is higher. But in the trackers, all the coin boxers at level 7, 1400, they're all equal, and so it's hard to.
There was I think someone came up with a way you can edit that, or a mod. If Ansel ever here, he'd probably tell me if I'm right or not. If they haven't, then I'm sure someone could easily add that in.
I will
Yeah.
say that the like Bam and Gerbs is because I think you guys bring up great points. Bam and Gerbs is mainly for to focus on coverage, to help you say, hey, I need to level up this card or level up this in order to get this coverage. So I wonder if that would help or not. I don't know. Maybe it would.
I mean, coverage for like level 7, 1400, like you don't want to put tickets on a small coin boxer versus the big coin boxers. Like having everything at level 1 to coverage to like get coverage 100% is like an early stage thing. But then later in the game, you're also looking for, well, I'm looking to max certain things. Which ones actually give me the value to have at level 7, 1400?
Yeah, I think to your point, like in the Bam and Gerbs, if you have 2 items that are, you'd use either one. It would be nice if like that one, that was a little bit bigger would get like the advantage, and then you could see. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
I could see some value there. I think that would be a good idea. Anything else though about for top 10, is because we're always trying to reevaluate this, and Tabor, I'm sure, watches some of these, maybe not.
Well, I would also say I don't know if it applies for anything other than Coinbox.
Yeah.
Because to back to Frenzy Fanboys, what we were saying earlier, some tracks it's kind of nice to have a small driver. You might
Absolutely.
get a better line or better, if you're working with a double coin frenzy driver or whatever. So Coinbox to break ties, I would say only for that.
Okay. Well, good. All right, guys. Well, I know Puffton and Larry, you guys are probably ready to hit the sack.
Is that
Appreciate
car
you
yawning?
guys, joining us. This is recorded in the afternoon on Friday, and so we typically record on Thursday nights or on Friday nights, and so I'm just so thankful. I try to accommodate to our European members, and just so thankful for what you guys, the sacrifices you guys make, just being on a different time zone, being ahead of us. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll start to wrap up here. As we've wrapped up the last couple episodes, one of the things we've asked for each one of our guests to give is one tip or strategy or advice would you give to a new a new player in the game. So think back to maybe someone like Viking, who's with us today. What advice would you have for them that might be able to help them get caught up to speed, or what's one thing that you learned that if you passed kind of paid forward, what would help them be able to kind of get ahead? To either one of you two, I'll let you guys go first, just in case one of you falls asleep while we're wrapping up. Either one of you want to go first?
I'll let Larry go first.
So make sure to also say goodbye to your fans too, because I know, Larry, you have so many fans. We'll probably break the limit on YouTube comments here. So go ahead.
So yeah, I would say that investing and not wasting tickets, and really, if you have and at the start, like investing in good items and looking at the sheets and where they give you a lot of coverage and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be like using the sheets and not wasting tickets. Yeah.
Good. Puffy, what recommendation would you have other than to invest in demon rats?
Ha 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 ha.
And
Wait
golfers.
Honestly, I would say take breaks, because when I started out, I was very much grind, constant, and then I just rage quit the game for months, and I just was like, nope, don't like it, not playing it, and then I came back to it, and I remember it was one tour, can't remember the name of it because my memory is absolutely terrible, but it was like earlier this year, at the end of last year, that it was one of the tours I was like, nah, not interested, and literally just uninstalled the game for the full tour.
Wow.
And just took that break, and I uninstalled the game for that tour fully, and just went, nope, not going to touch it, not going to play it, because I knew if I kept it, I would have that urge to go in, but I knew I need to uninstall the game. I need to take that step and just be like, nope, cold turkey for 2 weeks. That's it. And it really helped, because it reinvigorated that kind of urge to play it again, to see the next tour, to go, oh, and like have that kind of mind refresh. So I'd say do not go straight into it. Do not go hard into it. Take breaks, take little mini vacations, step back from the game at some points where you're getting that kind of pent up aggression. If there's maybe a track that's really annoying you, take a step back, set it to the side, do something else, come back to it later on. Like have that fresh mind, don't get angry at it. And kind of backing up what Larry said about not wasting tickets, I got laughed at for immediately investing in Surfmaster when it came out in the Sydney tour. And it's actually been really good for me. So I would say if there's something you love and you want to invest in it, do it. Like if that's something you love, take it. If you get laughed at, don't take it to heart. It's just people on the internet. They're going to do that. You have your strong will, you have your willpower. Do what you want. And somehow it could turn out for the better. And then everybody else starts following you and you're the one that comes out on top. But good luck.
Good. Awesome. So I'll actually piggyback. I'll say goodbye because I want FrenzyFans to do their legendary send off. I'll do my goodbye and then we'll let Sammy and then Viking before we're handing finally to FrenzyFans. But I just kind of want to piggyback off that, and I think I want to make sure as a curator of a top 10 list that is on YouTube. I want to make sure that I relieve everyone, and I think FrenzyFans guy, you were mentioning this last time, don't feel the pressure like you have to invest in everything in the top 10. The top 10 is great for someone, say like Holy Viking, who is just stepping into the game. Maybe those players who were coming in from the Mario Kart 8 and just saying like, hey, I don't know even what a coin box is. I don't really know what this is going on here. I don't know what cards, but like what's good? Like where's a good place to start? And like, I think I feel pretty confident about this is that, you know, I hear people say, you know, I took this to 700, and it's great for me. And I think if you're investing in anything to 700, it's going to be like the best for those 25, 30 tracks that it has. So it's all kind of relative. You can make anything really good and really valuable to you, to Puffy's point. So don't worry about what everyone else is doing around you. If you want something to be really valuable, to Puffy's point, just to piggyback off of that, do it. You know, make it valuable for you, because anything can be valuable to you. And so I want to make sure to kind of say that. But then to Larry's point, but then also as you're inserting that into the Bam and Gerbs or other sheets that are out there, the more investments you make away from the general public, the more different or the chain reaction of other different investments you're going to have to make. Because a lot of people are kind of doing the similar meta, and it's cool when someone does something, you know, different. I always like investing in something that no one else is investing in, but just know that that is going to make a compounding trigger reaction to other gaps that I'm going to have that other people aren't going to have because they had Silver King or because they had this invested. So it's going to make your account even more unique than it already is, which is perfectly fine. You know, I hear all people, the different, like a good example is Nevermind or Anke. Anke wasn't a whale until I think just last year. So she's missing a lot of old coverage. And so her coverage is very, very different from everyone else. So she'll say, oh, you know, this is really valuable to me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's it's valuable to you because of this reason or because of that reason, where, you know, she was trying to cover these gaps. The same thing with Nevermind. He has a very, very complete account, but it covers completely different things. And so just know there's no pressure to follow the top 10. Top 10 is just kind of a high level indication of what's pretty valuable, what's going to be most commonly valuable to a greater population than others. And so just know it's not a pressure. It's not a must, you know, follow, but more of just a high level guide. So there you go. Sammy, thank you so much for joining us. I honestly, it's been 3 months or so since you've been with us. I know you kind of took a little break, and then we had so much going on with the members and the super studs that we haven't had you back yet. But whether you have you on in a future episode or not, we just are so thankful for what you did in the community, for really helping launch Kart Talk to begin with. And thank you for taking the time to join us again on this Friday afternoon.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. And As for advice for new players, watch Kart Life.
Yeah.
You guys have said a lot of the good stuff. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Like I said, I have a really good friend who just started the game, like 2.5 years in. I somehow convinced him, and I'm trying to give him a crash course. And it's like he's texting me all these questions. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin with this question. There's so much to it. So it brings me back to a lot of my original strats, which is, maximizing the resources that you get for free, like the daily base points. I see some people still like getting their runs where they have like a random thing that's like not at max base points. These are like points you're leaving on the table, and there's a lot of, if you're like just patient and like a long game, there's just so much you can milk out of the resources with base points, with today's challenge pipe. Like, I know today's challenge pipe gets a bad rap, but never skip today's challenge pipe. Never skip it, because at the minimum it's 300 coins or 5 item tickets. And there's times when I've needed both of those things. Or you'll get lucky and get something good, or some rubies. So just patience. And I always said in Kart Life, only doing something when you have to, we want to do things a lot. There's impulses to do this, especially upgrades, but the real long game strat is like, just wait as long as you can before making a move, think it through, see what everyone else in your rank's doing, and see if you can skate by without doing it. And then you'll ultimately conserve more resources. But yeah, have fun and be smart, play smart, and watch Kart Life and the rundown.
Definitely.
And Frenzy fans, the trackers.
FrenzyFans. If you do nothing from this video, go ahead and
calculator.
FrenzyFans.
The calculator that FrenzyFans has is amazing, because you literally can learn what you can score, and it saves you a lot of time and stress, and it gives you the information. So the more information you gather, the more powerful you are as a player. So
yeah, so I'll actually add 2 more things for new players. Right now, in the description, there is a link to FrenzyFans channel. Go there, like, subscribe. Some of their stuff. It's in fact, you'll probably even see some of these other people on those channels. So grateful for what they do for the community. And then 2, for those drivers who are new to the game, maybe you found us through Mario Kart 8, whatever it might be, there is a learning curve to this game. Be willing to just give it a little bit longer time.
Oh, definitely.
So a few, like a little bit longer. It took me about 4 months to learn how to drift.
I was gonna say 4 or 5 days, but
just give it a little bit more time. It took me 4 months to learn how to drift. I'm dead serious about that. I played this game and could not drift for 4 months of playing this game. Just do some watch some tutorials, watch some videos. You will pick it up, and then you will be addicted. You will love the game. It'll be so much fun. Yeah. So there you go. Sorry about that. I just had to throw that last one in.
Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
Holy Viking. What would you probably could just imagine yourself 2 months ago, 3 months ago? What would you go back and tell that version of yourself?
You don't have to pull on every single pipe, because
yeah,
I've pulled and gotten every spotlight, not every, but nearly every spotlight in every tour, and I don't even use half of them. Yeah. So use your ruby sparingly. Honestly, I'd only go for like plus skilled drivers or top 10. So like Blackbirdo, she's coming very clutch for me.
Yeah.
That is so solid advice. All right, FrenzyFans, your advice, and then send us off.
Remember to breathe. I do this a lot, like if I'm grinding, or especially multiplayer and me do not get along.
You're fainting?
What was that?
You're fainting while driving?
Well, I find myself like, okay, just with everything that stresses me out in life, I like hold my breath to the point where afterwards I like let out like an audible gasp, and he makes fun of me for it. But just with everything, like whether it's grinding, whether it's pulling pipes, like I feel like so many times we get so wrapped up in the game, like just remember to calm, like go meditate, do some yoga, breathe. Yeah.
I breathe too heavily on a run. Like my girl and I will both have our headphones on. She'll look at me and be like, "Are you okay? Like, what is wrong with you?" I'm like on a run, like the run. And I'm like, it's like.
See, when it's the run, my legs start flailing, and I'm like,
oh, really?
Actually, like I kick around a lot.
good.
Anyways, that's my advice.
Of course, you kick around in your sleep too, so kicking around is just kind of like a
I'm just constantly playing
common
soccer.
denominator.
That's
We're gonna reach a
awesome.
TMI point here, but yeah, go ahead, FrenzyFans guys, send it. Give your information and send us off.
Yeah, so a little heart to heart. To be honest, I was gonna say something about like don't underestimate the tier shop and talk about like daily selects and stuff, but I'm not going to. I think what I would recommend to new players, especially if you're coming over from kind of like the console games, and I know that we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think my recommendation would be, and I'm going to preface this a little bit with my very little experience outside of the Mario Kart Tour community. Like I've been over to like the Reddit, Mario Kart 8 forum, and so on and so forth. And I think that there are probably like a lot of people there, but not a lot of people that contribute, because I think a lot of what you see is just like people, kind of like showing like world record time runs or something like that. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the different aspects of strategy in the game. There are so much more aspects of strategy in the game in Mario Kart Tour that people within the community have taken time and like used their talents to try and help everyone else out in the community. So for example, like sometimes I'll still see like on Reddit, someone that posts like, these are my scores and where can I improve? And they have like a level 1 high-end driver, but that they have like double uncapped. It's like, oh no. And there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of things that can be learned within the community. Like we're so anxious to be able to share what we've learned and share experiences and share as the game evolves. So many people are trying to stay on top of it and help other people with their game. So Frenzy Fangirl, she all the time says, a rising tide lifts all ships. Like we're all about helping each other. And because of that, the experience of the game is no longer when you're pushing buttons or swiping your finger across the screen. It's become more of interacting with people and getting friendships, and just the experience is so much broader. So my advice would be, if you're new, and especially if you're coming from like a console game, take time to check out Reddit or like one of these Discords. Sammy has his Discord, Studfit, you have his Discord, Carlos has a Discord, we have a Discord. There's a place for everyone, and everyone is so willing within those like micro communities to help other people out. It would be a shame to try Mario Kart Tour without trying to like dip your toe into some community of some sort. So I guess that would be my advice, is to get the full experience of the game. Try out a community or two, because to be honest, that's one of the best parts of the game for us. So
I agree.
So anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. And until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
See you guys.
I
Bye.